everybody, welcome back to the channel. So after 4 long months of patiently waiting since it was announced, Super Mario Party Jamboree is finally here. And I've gotta say, it was worth the wait. Super Mario Party Jamboree might be the best Mario Party with new content we've gotten since Mario Party 8 back on the Nintendo Wii. And this new installment in the Mario Party series is jam-packed with content, with various different modes and ways to play. But of course the main attraction in any Mario Party, as always, is the mini-games, and of course the boards. And in Super Mario Party Jamboree we've got 7 of them, including 2 of which are some old favorites that have been brought back. So now of course we have to rank all 7 of these boards from worst to best, in my opinion anyways. And with that, let's go! Starting things off at number 7, we've got Mega Wiggler's Tree Party. This board is your typical forest aesthetic, but with a Mega Wiggler in the center of it all that you can use as a makeshift path to traverse this board a little more efficiently. However, there are various bells across the board that if you land on their corresponding event space, will ring said bell and wake up the Wiggler and it will move to a different spot, thus changing the path. There's also an item that you can use as well that will have the same effect if you want to disrupt Wiggler's sleep on the go. You gotta be careful though, if you ring the bell too many times, the Mega Wiggler will get pretty frickin' angry from being woken up from his nap, which let's be honest, would be any of us if someone kept waking us up every few minutes. But in doing so, the spaces on Wiggler's back turn from normal and lucky spaces to red and Bowser spaces, making things a little more treacherous. There's also Spike towards the back of the board that is harvesting honey, and if you land on the event space by him, you'll get a chance to get some coins from the beehives. However, one of them contains some bees, which will ultimately end your quest to get any more coins. All in all, this is a perfectly fine board that can have some interesting strategy around the positioning of Mega Wiggler, but ultimately, with how good the boards are in this game, this one just takes the bottom spot. At number 6, we've got a blast from the past in Mario's Rainbow Castle, which was originally in the very first Mario Party. Now let's just start by saying how great the music is for this board. It's long been one of my favorite tunes from a Mario Party game, and hearing it again here just fills me with so much nostalgia. And of course the whole theme of running around a bunch of clouds in the sky around a floating castle is very cool. The goal of this board is to get to the end of the path and get a star from Toad. Of course though, once a player does this, the castle will spin around and Imposter Bowser will be there waiting to sell you a fake star and ultimately take a chunk of your coins away. One cool feature of this board is that when Imposter Bowser is the one at the castle, the whole board will go from sunny and peaceful to dark and stormy, which I thought was a really nice touch. Despite how much I've been praising this board so far, the reason I have it as low as I do is that, like in the original game, the path is incredibly linear, with only a couple forks in the road to potentially strategize your way around whoever is or is about to be at the castle between Toad and Imposter Bowser. So for mostly that reason, Mario's Rainbow Castle takes the 6th spot. Coming in at number 5, we have Goomba Lagoon, which is a board that has a collection of islands all right off the base of a giant Goomba volcano. Now the gimmick of this board is that there is a low tide and a high tide that will change every couple turns. When the tide is low, you can freely navigate the board without any problems, but when the tide is high, you'll be pretty trapped on whichever part of the board you happen to be on. There are a couple spots on the board that will zipline you to another island if you happen to land on the event space for it, but besides that, navigating this board can be pretty tough during the high tide turns, which to me is a bit of a double-edged sword in how I feel about this board. On one hand, it's cool to have to try and strategize beforehand so that you're positioned well when the high tide comes in. On the other hand, it can be pretty annoying when you can't do anything for a couple turns at a time. Also, if you happen to pass by the volcano, it will erupt, spitting out a ton of either golden Goombas or lava bubbles, covering multiple spaces around the volcano. Passing the golden Goombas will gain you some coins, and passing the lava bubbles will lose you some coins. There's also an event space that'll let you go fishing for some coins, but you have to get no more than 15. So it's a bit of a game of trying not to push your luck if you get close to that many coins in your bucket. While I really like the aesthetic of this board and some of the gimmicks, getting stuck in one place every now and then keeps this one at the 5 spot. Now at number 4, we have King Bowser's Keep, which features a giant Imposter Bowser standing in the center of the board surrounded by a conveyor belt. Honestly, this board to me feels like a fully realized version of King Bob-omb's Powder Keg Mine from Super Mario Party. King Bowser's Keep has so many of those same elements and concepts, but just taken to the next level. Anyways, on this board there are many risky and dangerous events, such as when you pass a Mecha Koopa, you'll get thrown into a battle where you'll have to roll a high enough number on the dice that'll let you take it out. If not, you get torched and lose some coins. But by far the most dangerous area of the board is the conveyor belt that surrounds Imposter Bowser, which is littered with Bowser spaces that will only increase in number every couple of turns, making it extremely risky to traverse the later in the game you are. You can also reverse the direction of the conveyor belt, whether by an item or an event space, which can make for some fun strategy in screwing over your opponents and keeping them on the conveyor belt longer. One other cool dynamic for this board is that every coin and star that Bowser will steal from everyone is put into a vault that is locked with a 2-digit passcode, and after a lot of trial and error, whoever eventually gets the code will get everything in the vault, which can instantly change the whole game. And while this board is fun to play and has some cool features, there are a few boards that beat this one out. For number 3, we have Roland Race Way, which is essentially what happens when Mario Party and Mario Kart have a baby. On this board, you get into a racing cart and race around the board, trying to do as many laps as you can, as the star on this board will only land in 2 specific spots, each in different lanes towards the back of the board. So ultimately, whenever you pick a lane, you want to be sure someone else isn't going to beat you to it, otherwise you'll have to race around the whole board another time just to get another attempt at a star. Now the cool thing about this board is that there are plenty of items that will help you zoom through it in no time. You have, of course, your typical double and triple dice at the ready, but then there's a special item for this board in the turbo dice, which lets you roll 4 dice, meaning you could potentially go up to 40 spaces. Now the catch with the turbo dice is that while using them, you'll skip any events on the board, including the star, so you need to pick your timing on when to use it, but damn is it fun to travel half the board in one turn. Also, for each lap you complete, the amount of coins you get increased by 10 each time, adding another incentive for you to dash through the board as fast as possible. There are also some event spaces that can throw you off as well, such as one towards the star that'll send out a bruiser and a monster truck after you, chasing you right past the star. There are also event spaces that are jump pads that'll launch you onto the other side of the track, which usually isn't too big of a problem unless you happen to land on the one right before the star. But overall, this is a super fun board, oozing with awesome Mario Kart vibes that I can't wait to replay. But there were 2 boards that were just a little bit better. At the runner-up spot, we've got Westernland, which was originally in Mario Party 2. Now when this board was first announced to be coming to Super Mario Party Jamboree, I was pretty excited as Westernland is one of my all-time favorite Mario Party boards, and the remastered version certainly delivers as well. Between the classic music that accompanies this board to the fun desert aesthetics to an old western town, this is just such a cool board. The biggest feature of this board though, of course, is Steamer, the giant train that will travel from station to station, and he operates the same as how he did in the original. You can pay for a ride to the next station, but you have a 50-50 chance of going forward or in reverse, so it is a little risky. Also, any player that happens to be in the path of Steamer will get knocked back to the start of the board, which you'd think would be the least of their worries after taking a hit like that. Anyways, the new dynamic here that wasn't in the original game is that you can buy a Steamer ticket, which will let you call him even when he's not the station you happen to be passing, adding some more strategy to the mix. There's also an event space at the top of the board where a player can call one or all of the players to the same place for a party. And while it's not usually worth the 20 coins to get everyone there, in the right spot, it can be an interesting strategy to serve your opponents some, milk. I mean, I guess if they're lactose intolerant or something. Anyways, I love this board, and while it was close to the top, there's one board that just beat it out. And at the top spot, we have Rainbow Galleria, which is a giant mall that spans 3 floors, and damn, this board just has so much going on in it. First of all, the mall aesthetic works so much for a Mario Party board, I'm honestly surprised it hadn't been done yet before. But anyways, this board will have you navigating the 3 floors of this mall, whether by escalators that only go one way, or by an elevator which only goes to the top or bottom floor. And along the way you can find stamp stations that if you collect all 4 stamps, you can take the stamp sheet back to the start of the board and get a whopping 50 coins. Or if you don't get all 4, you can get 10 coins for each stamp you got. I don't think it's worth going out of your way to get these stamps in my opinion, but if your path happens to get them all, it can swing things around for you. Now what's a mall without some shopping? And there's tons of stores that you can either pass like usual, but also some that you need to land on the corresponding event space to shop at. There's a store that will only sell items to the player in last place, there's one that exclusively sells Boo Bells, there's even a store with a golden Goomba who will sell golden items to you. Heck, there's even a thrift store where Womp will make you sell one of your items. The only stores this place is missing is a Cinnabon and a Hot Topic. Anyways, the main gimmick of this board is that every 5 turns there's a flash sale, meaning that every item you could buy is now half off, including stars. So if you can time your shopping for that turn, it can really help. There's also an event space that lets you participate in a raffle that will give you a drawing for every item you've purchased up to that point. So if you've done a lot of shopping, you can get some serious coins from that, as well as potentially a golden pipe. Overall though, I like the aesthetic of this board, as well as just how many different dynamics there are to it, and it was just the one I had the most fun playing. But anyways, that was just my ranking of these boards. Let me know in the comments down below how you'd rank them. Also be sure to give this video a like, because one like equals one less friendship that will be ruined by Mario Party, and be sure to subscribe for more videos in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.